Fog Fitbot back again with another video, and we're looking at Celtic's 2020 summer signings. It was the year that Celtic were supposed to do 10 in a row, but Stevie G and the Rangers went, no, fantastic it was. But let's look at their signings, because, these signings were unreal. I mean, I've no idea why these signings were so great, unreal. A lot of money spent, big money loan fees, 5 players to get through, and we're going to go from left to right, burying these wee pricks. But we kick off with Albi and a Jetty, and Celtic signed him for 5 million from West Ham. He was absolutely abysmal. I think he had a couple of good games at the start of his career, but that though, for the 30 minutes, he was unplayable against Real Betis, that John Hartson said. But I mean, it has to be awful because they've spent a decent amount of money, right? And the guy has had no return whatsoever, and they haven't even made it back. And it's horrendous. And talk about a guy that they also spent 5 million on is actually worse than Albi and a Jetty. It's Barkas. This guy, does he even have hands? Have we clarified that he's even got hands? Because I don't think he does. He's honestly one of the worst goalies I've ever seen. So that's why I'm going to put him in behind a Jetty again. The guy's no resale value. He came in with a decent amount of hype, but if you're looking at someone who cost Celtic points this season, it's definitely Barkas. I'm not just ranking them on this season, by the way. I'm ranking it on their entire Celtic career, but of course, for most of these people, it didn't last very long. But yeah, with Barkas, he was shite. He cost Celtic a good few points this season. And that brings us to another guy that cost Celtic a good few points this season, and that is Shane Duffy, right? Now, I know we've had Aaron Ramsey, and he's the biggest flop in Scottish football history, right? But we've got to be honest, see with Aaron Ramsey, it's more because he missed the penalty. It truly is more because he missed the penalty. And see this dog behind me, man? Why is it getting into its treat box? But Shane Duffy, he definitely didn't get any treats during his Celtic career, and again, another guy that cost Celtic numerous goals. So much. I mean, could the guy actually defend? It was comical. I loved that season. I mean, take out the fact that I support Rangers and Rangers obviously stopped the 10. See, just seeing how fucking bad Celtic were and how, every game was a barrel of laughs. You had Shane Duffy doing that, Barkas and nets. Nobody could score a goal. The whole COVID situation where they all went to Spain. And Bill and Ogley, man, he went to Spain, broke the COVID rules. Oh, take us back. From a comedic standpoint, it was brilliant. It was absolutely unreal. And Shane Duffy. I'm going to put, because they literally hyped up Shane Duffy. Oh, the guy for Londonderry. It's Londonderry. The guy for Londonderry who used to shag Katie Price is going to help Celtic on their way to the 10. And he's probably the guy that fucked up the most for him. But coming in number 4, we've got Davy Turnbull. Signed for 3 million from Motherwell, of course. He was going to join in 2019, but that kind of fell through because they found out in his medical he had a torn ACL, which I don't know how they didn't notice that, something like that. But you know what? Turnbull's been no bad for Celtic. This season he was kind of anonymous, but under Ange he's definitely stepped up. But again, he's not a starter, and I'm going to put him in average. I truly am going to put him in average. I feel like there's still a lot to go with David Turnbull. I mean, I think he should be in the Scotland squad, but again, I think, has he peaked too early? I mean, what age is he now? He must be 23, 24 now. I mean, still very young, but, I don't think it's going to get much better for him. I mean, it could, but I think he's just an average player, to be honest. And I felt like when he first broke onto the scene, there was a lot more hype about him. But that brings us up next to to Laxalt. This guy, I have no idea what he is, but where's he going on this list? It has to be awful again. I mean, I'd say he's probably top of awful. I'd say the other 3 on this list, he wasn't as bad. I mean, most of the time he was getting played out of position, and he offered something. I do feel like he was alright in that department. He is a decent enough player. He's not the worst player on this list. Again with Shane Duffy, I don't think Shane Duffy's that bad of a player, but it was, by God, the worst ever season I've ever seen from a footballer, from a Scottish football perspective. But he went back to Brighton, and he was alright for a bit. I don't know where he is now. He could still be at Brighton, but don't really care where he is now. But anyway, guys, that is me ranking every summer transfer from the season that Celtic bottled the league. But until next time, peace. And the 10. Of course, it was the 10. I say bottled it, like Rangers pumped them. I mean, Celtic could have been on their A game and Rangers still would have won the league. But you know what? It was better the way it happened. Alright?